The wind howled as I stepped onto my front porch barefoot, wrapped in a soaked blanket and shivering, the flashlight clamped between my teeth, flickering like it, too, was ready to quit. "You cut off my power during a storm?" I called out. Across the cul-de-sac, Clarissa Bennett, the self-appointed queen of the Homeowners Association, sat smugly on her porch wrapped in a fleece throw, sipping hot cocoa like she was judging a reality show. "Rules are rules," she said, her porch bathed in a warm amber glow, mocking me in the storm's icy grip. That was it. No more warnings. No more polite emails or HOA meetings that went nowhere. If she wanted to play games with the grid, she was about to learn who built it and who could break it. The storm had swept in fast after sunset. It came low and mean, with the kind of thunder that rattled picture frames and spooked dogs into hiding. Rain lashed against windows, gutters overflowed, and as expected, porch lights across the neighborhood blinked on automatically. Mine did too, briefly, until everything inside my house went dark. No lights, no heat, not even the gentle hum of the refrigerator I had just filled with $500 worth of groceries. The smart thermostat croaked once and died. The security system followed. I figured it was a general outage. No big deal. I stepped outside expecting to see a street full of darkness, but nope. Every house on the block was lit up like a holiday catalog. TVs flickered behind curtains, air conditioners hummed away, and Dave's inflatable flamingo still bounced cheerfully in the wind. My place was the only black hole. Back inside, I tried restarting the system via the app. Error. I checked my account. Access denied. Then a new message blinked at the bottom of the screen. Power service suspended due to HOA violation. Contact HOA administrator. I stared at it, stunned. Since when did the HOA control residential power? There was a knock at my gate. I slipped my coat on and trudged into the storm with a flashlight. Taped to my gate in a waterproof sleeve was a violation notice in blinding orange, signed by Clarissa herself. Unauthorized generator use code 8B7, immediate disconnection mandated. I let out a sharp laugh, more of a bark. Really? Generator use? I hadn't even flipped it on. My solar backup hadn't engaged because the grid hadn't failed. It had been cut. Furious, I stomped through puddles and up Clarissa's perfect stone steps, banging on her glass door. She opened it just enough to smirk at me. "You cut my power?" I said through gritted teeth. "The HOA did," she corrected, pleased with herself. "Your solar backup's auto-engage violates the bylaws. Grid-tied systems need pre-approval." My backup wasn't even on, I snapped. "Well, maybe we don't have the authority," she shrugged. "But we did it anyway. Want it back? Submit a compliance review. Pay the fine. Wait for board approval. You know the drill." She sipped her cocoa like she'd just won. I turned and walked away mid-sentence, dripping, silent. Let her believe she'd won. Let her toast her victory. She had no idea who she'd just poked. Back home, I bypassed the front door and entered through the side, heading straight to the basement me command center. 2 layers of biometric locks later, I was sitting in front of a glowing arc of monitors. The central one read, "Welcome, administrator." Because here's what Clarissa didn't know. She thought I was just another homeowner, a line on her spreadsheet, another nuisance to slap with fees. She didn't know I was the CEO of the regional utility provider, her utility provider. The same company that installed every meter in this neighborhood. The same one that approved every solar system, managed every backup, and controlled every grid connection in 47 nearby communities. Technically, Yesht found a decades-old clause buried in legacy paperwork from an acquisition 3 companies ago. It gave the HOA some limited authority under specific, outdated conditions. That was on me, but not for long. I began building my case. Digging through the logs, I found the call. 3 hours earlier, Clarissa had phoned the HOA's admin line, citing a code violation and requesting a disconnect. The tech new on the job saw the flag and approved it. An honest mistake. A 1 in a million fluke. But she thought she'd pulled off a coup. I could have flipped the power back right then. Overrode the request. Fixed the flag. But no, this wasn't about lights anymore. It was about power. I forwarded her call log to compliance. Pulled footage from my security cam showing her violation notice. Cross-referenced every HOA meeting where she'd pushed unauthorized control measures. Begin silent audit HOA Sector 11C. Focus on unauthorized overrides. Then I cracked open a soda and waited. The next morning, I let my house stay cold. Let it be a symbol. Clarissa wanted a war? I'd give her one quiet, strategic, and devastating. By mid-morning, 2 of our compliance officers were reviewing activity in Sector 11C. Every spike, every override, every hiccup in the system now logged and analyzed. By noon, the alerts began rolling in. The clubhouse hot tub was drawing 3 times the approved power. Clarissa's cousin in Unit 6 had wired a secret underground line into the HOA office to run a crypto farm. Several meters had been swapped for non-compliant models, all authorized by Clarissa. She wasn't just bending rules. She was breaking the grid. Then came the invite. Monthly HOA meeting. Normally I skip them. But this time I RSVP'd by proxy. I sent Nolan. Nolan looked like a retired engineer. Wore sandals with socks, always carried a clipboard, and had a dry wit that could saw through steel. I fed him lines through a discreet earpiece. Meanwhile, a drone hovered outside the clubhouse streaming everything back to me. Clarissa stood at the podium, basking in her faux glory, pitching new regulations about energy caps and selective shutdowns during storms. Nolan raised his hand. "Do these new rules apply to everyone?" he asked, "or just the ones you don't like?" Clarissa bristled. "They're equal enforcement policies." "Interesting," he said, opening a folder. "Then why does the clubhouse draw 3,200 kilowatt-hours a week without inspection?" He kept going. Detailed her override. Cited the bylaws stating only certified technicians could authorize shutdowns. Clarissa tried to interrupt. Nolan didn't stop. "And as of this morning," he added cheerfully, "your entire neighborhood is now classified as a conditional use community by the provider. Your rates have tripled. Enjoy your new billing summary." The room fell silent. Then someone shouted, "You shut off the CEO's power?" Clarissa's face drained to chalk. Within hours, the new billing statement hit the HOA's inbox. $17,000. Penalties, back charges, tampering fees. Clarissa's protest email got an automated reply. I read it while eating popcorn. 2 days later, the city sent inspectors. Standard infrastructure audit, totally routine. They found a buried illegal conduit from Clarissa's cousin's place, a bypassed smart meter behind her garage, an ancient pool heater drawing power from an undocumented line. Clarissa screamed something about raccoons. The inspector just blinked. "Do raccoons install surge protectors?" The drone captured every moment. I uploaded the footage anonymously. Subject line: "Your grid. Your rules." The fallout was immediate. The Facebook group exploded. Someone made a meme of Clarissa holding a wine glass labeled Queen of the Blackout. Others demanded a vote. A recall. And they got it. At the emergency meeting, Nolan stood by as Unit 12 read the bylaws aloud. Because of her tampering, Clarissa's utility access had been suspended. She couldn't vote. Neither could her allies. The vote was swift. Clarissa was removed as president. Doyith Quiet Grandma from Unit 5 was elected as the new board head. She brought cookies to the meeting. People cheered. Clarissa tried to appeal to the county. My cousin Roger, head of utilities oversight, responded with a single line. "Tampering with infrastructure is a felony." Clarissa was finished. Her allies scattered. Her reputation became neighborhood folklore. A bakery sold cupcakes with drones on them. Someone made a rap song called "Step Away from the Conduit." I restored my power only after Doy sent me a handwritten note and a plate of cookies. The final act? I donated a smart energy display to the clubhouse, solar-powered, with real-time usage stats, alerts, and a single plaque at its base. "Never let someone who doesn't understand the system be in charge of the switch." Below it, a tiny pixelated drone smiled from etched stainless steel. Clarissa moved out quietly. Sold her house to an out-of-state couple who had no idea. One neighbor caught a photo of her U-Haul rolling down the street at dawn and captioned it, "The power has left the building." We hosted a community event soon after PowerFest. Music, food, solar-powered lights. The plaque at the entrance read, "Powered by the people." In memory of Clarissa's outlets. Life returned. And the grid? Stronger than ever.